I must be a glutton for punishment because here I am diving back into the vintage cube once more. Let's see what happens here. So I've learned through a lot of painful being on the receiving end of things that Through the Breach is ridiculous in this cube. So the other card that's absolutely ridiculous in this cube is Recurring Nightmare. So kind of a interesting bit of a toss-up there between the two. I tend to enjoy Recurring Nightmare quite a bit more than I do Through the Breach as far as just playstyles goes. I would love to pick up some of these other really nice cards. But yeah, these two cards are totally ridiculous. So Breach or Nightmare? I think all said and done, I think I'll probably rather have the Recurring Nightmare. You can build a whole deck around it, and I think that's interesting. I think that's a lot more interesting. So I haven't seen Scroll Rack at all in the cube, so Antax for me is a semi-pointless card. It's fine with Brainstorm effects, but not tremendously amazing in any way. Since I picked up the Recurring Nightmare, I could either pick up something like, well, Bargain's ridiculous. So I'm kind of tempted to, I could take Ophiomancer as an enabler or something, but I could also take Elish Norn as a payoff, just because it's a pretty good suppressive card. Or I can take Bargain because it's totally ridiculous card. And Bargain does not have the Necropotence clause that says when you discard you have to exile the card, which means you can over bargain, discard to get the card in the graveyard. I think I'll try it and we'll see. I'm not a Storm player, technically. Like, it's not a thing I like to do, so I'm not going that route. But Bargain's just totally OP. As far as recursion goes, Solemn is a great pick. If you saw the last video, I got super punished by someone running Phantasmal Image, so I'm impressed by that. Pyromancer kind of works with Recurring Nightmare a little bit. But I like the idea of taking the Image or the Solemn. I'm also attracted to the Guild of the Lotus here because, well, it's just a powerful card. Another card that works great with Recurring Nightmare is Wall of Blossoms. I think Solemn offers the most upside as far as recursion goes. It does allow me to, I think I'm going to take Solemn. So what it does allow me to do is it lets me hit 4 and then ramp into 6 for Bargain, which is a nice curve. Now there's a creature I'd like to recur with my Nightmare. Sundering Titan's very, very, very good. And there's also Drago's Tree Speaker, which is a ridiculous turn 1 play just because it's Soul Ring early on. And that's pretty nuts. Hypnotic Spectre I like a lot, but need Dark Ritual to make it good. Frost Titan's solid. But I think I'll go with the Titan. I mean, I'm trying to build. I am drawn to the green side of things because, and so maybe passing the Tree Speaker here is foolish. But I'm not 100% sure that I'll be in green, so we'll go this route and see what happens. Well, there's Una's Prowler, which works really good. You go turn 2, Prowler, turn 3, Recurring Nightmare, discard something, and put it directly into play. So you get your payout right away. There's also Inquisition, which is just really good for since depending on how things goes, it might not have, like if you can Inquisition, say, a channel out of somebody's hand or a mana drain or something nasty like that, it can make a big difference. Sower's pretty good. So it's like, really, do I want Enabler or do I want defenses? Prowler really kind of sets me up to be like a recursion deck, and I think that's fine. It focuses me on that area for sure. So there's Mannequin for recursion, and there's Gonti, which was actually a pretty decent creature to loop. You can start exiling your opponent's graveyard pretty quickly. So Mannequin, yeah, so really it's like, how do I want to build here? And I'm not exactly sure. Mannequin's interesting though because Mannequin can actually get things that would normally remove themselves from the graveyard. I'll just take Dark Ritual. It's a good card and goes great with Bargain. So yeah, we'll just take that right there. Brutality goes great with what I'm trying to do here. Vile Arc, very good recursion target. Fauna Shaman, great with Recurring Nightmare, as is Survival of the Fittest, of course. But right now, I'm not convinced that I'm going to be in a second color. So let's just keep staying with where I'm at and see what happens. And because I'm not. So I could take Avenger here or like Spell Pierce or something, but I kind of want to stay in the same color scheme, and I'm going to see how long I can push this. Can I go Mono Black? Ophiomancer is great with Recurring Nightmares, so that works very well. All right, so here I'm going to diverge a little bit. I'll go ahead and take the Wall of Blossoms and see if that's where I want to be or not. All right, Spectre to go at the Dark Ritual. Like I was saying earlier, I'd really like the Dark Ritual if I'm going to have a Spectre, so that works nicely. I guess you can take this high-end payout card, or I can take then this. I don't know how much green I'll be playing if I'm even committed to playing green, so I'll take the card that's more splashable if it turns out that I am. This looks like a really interesting start to a deck at the very least. I like the life gain factor on the Batterskull too with the Bargain. I'm not going to play either of these cards, so sure. I don't expect. I guess this does have some... Actually, funny enough, I guess this has some utility. The discard of card effect is actually... Yeah, so this guy has no combo with Bargain other than discarding, I guess. Yeah. Wow, last pick gate. Gosh. No respect for the Gush. That's interesting. Gush is a very good card. A card that got restricted. Okay. I haven't opened Power yet. That goes real well with Bargain. Black Lotus. I can Swamp Dark Ritual Lotus Bargain turn 1 now. So, obviously, I'd love to have the Demonic Tutor. That's not going to wheel. Bitter Blossom is nuts with Recurring Nightmare. Deluge is just a good card. Elves works if I were to stick on green. I am taking, obviously, Lotus, but I'm just looking at some of the other things that are out there. Vraska is kind of mediocre. I wish this was the 4-mana Vraska. Slime is a good recursion target. And then there's like a Tarka and stuff on the high. But yeah, that's an easy Lotus. The only time Lotus is not easy would be you've already got yourself set up for like a Tinker, and you get a Tinker offered to you with the Lotus. A Channel in a Lotus could be tough. Mana Drain in Lotus might be tough. Depends on your deck. But here, it was not tough. So, since I am thinking about green a little bit, yeah, so this is what I was trying. Well, first let me back up. So this put in the graveyard from any owner shuffles it in while the makeshift mannequin can snap it out of the graveyard with that trigger on the stack. But having said that, there's the Freebooter is interesting. I'm not super great with Recurring Nightmare, but Witness is actually really interesting because this kind of creates like a protection for the combo. Lets you kind of go indefinite, right? And I like that a lot. And I certainly think green and black together are very, very good together. This one's tough because opposition is insane, like build around me card, but like transitioning to blue in the very beginning here, it's not totally out of bounds, but I can also just take Overground Tomb. I think I'll take the Tomb and just use Discipline here, but it's tough. A reason to play blue is Leofold. There's Kitchen Finks, also good with Recursion, and Price and Clamp, all good stuff with Recurring Nightmare, but I do have some massive card drawing potential already. I may like, actually, Leo here. I think Leovold is extremely, extremely good. There's also removal, and that sometimes is just what you need for things like, Kiki Jiki, for example. But man, Leovolt's good. The other thing I could do is I could take like Kiki Jiki and try to set, because I potentially am recurring things that I may not be able to cast. I guess I will take the Leovold though, and then find out if I regret it later. Okay, well, Entomb works very well with what this deck thinks it's trying to do anyway. Or what I think it's trying to do. And then go for the throat would have been nice. Duplicant's also quite good, but I'm going to take the Entomb. This deck looks like it can actually potentially run Smuggler's Copter. I can run Dark Petition as well, but Dark Petition's neat because it goes and gets Recurring Nightmare, which I can immediately play. But I think looting just makes a lot more sense in a deck that at least kind of thinks it wants to be a Reanimator deck. And then Bizarre I'm not a big fan of, so I'm just not going to take it. All right, cool. Ramanap is nice and everything, but this Shieldred goes perfectly on theme, so I'll go ahead and snag that guy. Not a big... Okay, so, wow, there's actually a lot of cards here. Assassin's Trophy, really good. Burial Rites, really good. This thing is alright if you want to kill yourself, I guess. Imperial Seal is very, very good as well. I kind of need some removal, but it's hard for me to avoid picking up cards that let me do what I want to do versus cards that disrupt my opponent from doing what they want to do. Create a pirate, kill something, and win the game, basically. It's not that impressive. I'd rather just have Bitter Blossom, Recurring Nightmare. I could take the Freebooter here or the Whisperwood. They're both fine. Upheaval also going to slate is... This is crazy. Like, Opposition and Upheaval both passed. Like, really kind of regretting my decisions, but... I guess I'll take Whisperwood. It fuels Recurring Nightmare, but I'm just not certain that's where I want to be. Tristani also does some interesting work. Not exactly splashable. So does Necrotal, and it's it again maintains some discipline and pick selection. There's some world where I might try to cheat this into play, but unlikely. So I'll take it just in case. And I'm not playing High Tide, so maybe the Angel. Yeah, Gideon. Bizarre. I guess there's some scenario where I play Bizarre. I'm certainly not going to play Gideon, so I'll go ahead and just take that. I said I don't really love Bizarre, but it's possible. Holy smokes, man! Getting everything except in a deck that doesn't need it is interesting. But I am going to take Soul Ring. It's more powerful than a Mox. And Fast Bond Bargain is interesting, but not super interesting. You're gonna Dak Faden is crazy good. Dark Confidant's really good. Packrat's good for this deck. Thragtusk is actually really good in this deck. Signet would be just fine in this deck to help with the Leovold, but Soul Ring is just one of the most powerful cards in the game. Well, so Big Titan to recur is very nice. Yeah, this Whisperwood may not make the cut. Big Titan to recur is very nice. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Honestly, like, I'm gonna look at this deck as a mono black and then figure it out from there. So Big Titan, very nice, as I said. There's also Mox Diamond for speed, and I mean, I love Mox Diamond. It's an amazing card. It goes great with my Bargain, Soul Ring stuff. Like, it's not going to make it all the way around. The Grave Titan, I suppose, could. It may not either, though. Grave Titan, very, very, very good. There's a payoff card. There's other payoff cards. I think I'm going to take speed. It's something that you can't replace, or payoff cards you can, and I'll find out if I regret it. Wow. So a Bayou, if I want to do the green splash, it's looking more and more doable, even for just the 2 cards. And then there's Will, which is crazy, and might be a crazy good card for me if... Because I've got Dark Ritual, Entomb, Imperial Seal, discard effects. I mean, I have to be careful with Will because of exiling things that get put in the graveyard the same turn that I will, but... Yeah, and I've got a Black Lotus too. Let's not forget about that. Right, so... Oh, man. Will or Bayou? I'm not even sold on the green for sure, so I'm going to take the Will. Living Death is very, very, very good. I don't have a lot of creatures, but it is a way for me to both recur and deal with problems that I might not be able to deal with otherwise. And then there's Abrupt Decay. So, man, the green splashes is so attractive. There's Cabal Ritual too. Like, how bad do I want to bargain? I could have really taken some of the Storm cards and just focused on Reanimator with a splash of Storm, but I think Living Death will be okay. This is... Alright, so this Ulamog does not have the claws. It does not have the... Not C-L-A-W-S, but C-L-A-U-S-E, right? It does not say that when it goes to the graveyard. That it goes away. So that means I can actually reanimate this thing, and it's gross. So I think I will. And I just had a picture on it. I am a little short on creatures. There's also just other things that are gross to cheat into play. I could take the Terrestodon for that exact reason. Alternately, I can take the Tassiger because it's just a good card and it puts cards in my graveyard. Yeah, this is on theme. Let's stick with that. Avoids temptation. I could theoretically run Winter Orb in the stack. I could see running an Orb. I could also run Workshop. There are a few big hits for me. Mostly here. There aren't a ton. I don't think this deck necessarily wants to be an Orb deck if it starts recurring, and I think I'll take the Workshop and we'll just see what happens. So I could take Shallow Grave. That's pretty great. It's a little redundant with Recurring Nightmare. I could take the Brain Maggots, and I could take Lightning Greaves. All good. I love Lightning Greaves into Hypnotic Spectre. It's such a sweet curve out. Greaves on Ulamog is also really pretty powerful. I think I'll try the Greaves. Wow, a millionth pick Fastbond. That's so tempting. There's also Dark Confidant, but he's quite a bit worse with these cards in here. And none of the other cards are tempting, so I'll take the Fast Bombs, figure it out. Death Touch, Lifelink, not too bad. Tengawara, okay. Thruns, okay. Stomping Ground, I'm not going to play, so... I guess I'll take the Nighthawk, and then... Well, there's a Vraska's Contempt. I didn't really pay attention to it because I was so focused on the Bayou, but I'm really not sure that that's where I'm going to be. I might actually rather have the Contempt. I think I will take the Contempt. Sure, I will take the Abrupt Decay, though, and then after that it's all downhill, so whatever. Sure. So this deck could play the green, even though I passed the Bayou and stuff, it's not a huge deal. It could play a little bit of green. I've got the Mox Diamond and the Lotus and one dual land, and could try to make that work. I suppose I could have taken the Bayou at the very end, but I think the Vraska's Contempt was a solid. I think it was a solid card because I really didn't have a lot of single target removal in here. But if I'm going to be doing that, honestly, Soul Ring could take the place of the land. And Lotus kind of can, but Mox Diamond really can't, so... yeah, I don't really need to add... I've got Dark Ritual too. I've got a lot of alternate mana going on here. Am I running Workshop? I'm not sure. Vraska's Exiles, so that's really nice with Living Death. It doesn't kill it. Necrotal might be a sideboard card. Non-black, non-artifact. It's hard to know if I'm going to have targets for this. Man, I'm disappointed about the Leovold not really making the cut here. It's such a powerful card. But still, this is a great deck. So what I'm not getting out of green, I'm not getting Wall Blossoms, I'm not getting Witness, I wouldn't get Fastbond, and I suppose I wouldn't get Mystic because it doesn't make any sense. There's no Abrupt Decay, that I'm missing out on that, even if I assume I don't care about Fastbond. These three cards are very attractive to me, and then this is pretty good too. As is Garrick, frankly. But by staying in black, I've got a few bad cards. Basically what I have is a really solid, good deck that can do some broken things, and I think that's probably going to be fine. Now, if I go this route, that's only 14 lands. So that's too few for Mox Diamond. So I'm going to need to find land slots here. And that's where it's a little tough. I suppose I could take out Nighthawk, but I want enough creatures to use Recurring Nightmare. I didn't get... Yeah, and Necrotal is actually attractive for that exact reason. Smuggler... Well, I do have Bitter Blossoms counts as a creature. Bitter Blossom Bargain is not the greatest, but it's not... It shouldn't matter too much. Bitter Blossom Greaves. I gotta attack with the token every turn. It's so OP. I've got Entomb. How much? Well, it's good for Living Death. It's good for Mannequin. It's good for Recur. I guess that's enough. 14 lands is just not... I don't think 14 swamps is going to be enough. And then, of course, the question of Workshop. I suppose Tassiger's activation cost here, I hadn't considered that, but I cannot actually activate him without... I should have picked up the second Bayou. Right, because I would need some extra green sources to make him. So I guess this is the cut right here. Also, I suppose Delving is not the greatest when I'm trying to cheat things into play, so yeah. Oops. Still, what else do we have here? Ophiomancer making tokens, Bitter Blossom making tokens, potentially. I'm thinking 15 lands might be fine. Do I want a Workshop? The question I'm asking myself, do I want that Workshop? It's so gross if you can slam something like this into play, but or this early, or even a turn one like Workshop, Soul Ring, Simulacrum, or you could go yeah, could I go turn one Sundering Titan? Would that be good? Maybe. I don't know if it would be good, but I mean I could do it. You'd go shop Soul Ring, that's 5 mana, Lotus is 8 Titan. But the rest of the time, kind of sucks. I'd probably end up throwing it to Mox Diamond quite a bit. I don't know. Maybe I can afford it, though. I mean, 14 swamps, 15 swamps, like how much of a difference does it really matter? I think I'll try it and find out if I come to regret that decision. Just because I want to do the most absurd things that I can, and that is part of every like ridiculous draw. Shop has the potential to play a role. So, for example, shop Greaves, right? Mox Diamond away a land, Dark Ritual, Spectre start attacking their hand right away. It's not great or anything. Like, none of that's great because you invest so much, but it could be great. What else? It's kind of like a fast bond in that way. I think this is it. I feel like not playing the Necrotal's got to be a mistake, though. Like, maybe Necrotal's is better than Nighthawk because it has more... you know, it has more impact on the loop with the Recurring Nightmare. Nighthawk, really good for the bargain. I wanted to make sure I got some life gain cards. Would have loved to have gotten a Jite. But Batterskull and Hawk, and I guess to some extent Braska's Contempt is going to have to do. And then, of course, Brutality can also give me life if I need to. But Necrotal on loop seems really tasty. It doesn't seem particularly broken. It just seems good. I guess it is a sideboard. All right, let's do it. I'm going to go view deck and print screen this because I'm tired of having to memorize exactly what my deck list was. Excuse me. And then I'm going to go ahead and drop this in here. All right, cool. And then, yeah, sure, it's fine. All right, we've got ourselves a game. First game of the year. Oops, I didn't mean to close that file, though. So it gives me something to look at and think about while I'm waiting for my opponents to decide if they want to play. All right, so yeah, see, this is a workshop keepable hand. I'll need a creature to go with this Copter Boots thing, but hey. Copter can mill off a creature who I can reanimate. Alright. So I'm going to lead this way, though, and wait and see. I have to be careful, though. I can't put Greaves on a mannequined creature, so it'll kill it. That is one precaution I have to take. Verdant for Forest. Go. Interesting. Right, so I need to get... Okay, well, there's a Batterskull if I want it. So I think I do. So if I go get Batterskull here, I think... Because I think that's where I want to be, right? My other option would be Solemn. It's a little bit weak, I think. I can do better, so we'll go that route. Now, of course, this gets punished by a Wasteland or Strip Mine. My opponent kills my Greaves here with the one that lets me search for a land. That also would punish me a little bit. Okay. So the idea here is I go so I go Skull, Slam, next turn Copter, slams in, and if I draw a creature that costs 3 mana or less, I can power up that Copter, or Copter at least has the option to slam, and we'll see what happens here. One thing at a time. Let's get the Skull down. with my overly fair deck here. Like for vintage, this is not. This is too fair, right? This is not broken. I'm not channeling Emrakul on turn 2 or something crazy like that, but it's a good start. If my opponent's deck is relatively fair, then perhaps I'll have time to do something here. Unfortunately, they can kill the Batterskull, which would kill the... yeah, they're getting going. They could kill the Batterskull, even though they can't kill the Germ. So the threat here is still somewhat vulnerable. But every turn that they don't is good. Okay. What is it, like 3 to pick up? I should have played a land first. That's okay, though. Okay, I'll definitely take this. So post-combat, I get to play this land so that I can pick him up in a moment and then replay it. That's cool. I'm really glad to see the Cobra go, though. I mean, my opponent played a blue card off of it for starters. Okay. So they've got a forest in hand, and who knows what else. Alright, cool. Strange way to tap your mana. Not planning ahead. Could have left like a white or a overgrown tomb or something on top of it. So that's a little bit telling as far as what they don't have. Okay, so I can skull in now and then solemn later, or I can get the solemn down, right, and then loot, and then hit him with the loot. But I think getting the skull down is still the right choice. Okay, and then I'm trying to get... I'd like to get one more mana into place so that I would be able to make this play and still pick up the Batterskull, which protects my thread. Okay, I guess maybe that's where they jumped. They're at 9 though, so clock is ticking. So I cannot quite equip, put the solemn so that the solemn carrying a Batterskull will punch through a Titan, but also I can crew the copter and equip it and smash for 8 in the air. Or there's just that. But I'm 1 mana short, so we'll get this down. Okay. Crew this guy with probably the Batterskull? Wait, does this make sense? I can afford to take some damage here. What I'm really trying to do is I want him to attack with his Sun Titan and get his Cobra back out so that I can Living Death. And I want my Solemn to die. So I'm going to crew it with the... probably the Batter Skull. I'm going to end up picking up the Batter Skull. So I'll crew it with the Germ. I'm going to move the Greaves over to the Solemn. And smash in. So... and then I'll discard... oh, wow. That is phenomenal right there. Throw away the Mannequin. Cool. Card for me. Oh, very nice. Bitter Blossom is very nice right there. Okay, get the Blossom down. I'm going to play the Lotus because I may want to pick up the Batter Skull defensively. And I'm not bothering with the boots. I could put it on the Germ, I suppose, but I'll let my opponent figure that one out. So, I'm going to take some damage here with the intention of them replaying a Cobra or an Agent. I would have liked if they had... I figured they'd block with like their Sun Titan there. I guess they were concerned about -5/-5 effect, something like that. And I could have held them back and they probably would have swung in and I could have used them to block anyway. And maybe that was... so maybe that was like a little bit silly there, but then again, it did find me the Bitter Blossom, which a turn early, which I'm not unhappy about whatsoever. And so I've got the 5 mana to play the Death. Also, like my opponent's at 6, so I could just keep sending in with the Smuggler's Copter here, but I think that's just a little greedy. 6. It's going to take a lot of men off their board if I sweep, and also I don't want Nissa to flip because then it won't sweep. If my opponent gets a Kadama's Reach effect, then they could easily play a land off of it, and then it'll put a land into play and then flip Nissa right away. Oh, interesting choice there. That is a strange choice my opponent just made. With the Lotus in play and everything. That's really interesting. So Bitter Blossom is going to crew the Copter. Huh. Yeah, I don't fully understand that. Beautiful. Like the exact, like I was trying to imagine what is the most perfect card I could draw here, right? Yeah, I don't get what my opponent's doing. I'll go ahead and put this on here for now. Again, I'm going to have them attack, and then we'll see if they put a land into play or if they put the Cobra into play. I mean, opponents had 3, so like, what are they doing? Why would you Armageddon there? That is extremely odd. So I'm going to chump because like the plan is just Living Death and then, yeah, exactly. And then here's the plan. Attack with Copter, they die, right? If that plan falls through, then Living Death and they die. But there's no reason to show them the win. Yeah, this is just I don't understand what my opponent's doing here. My hand's perfect. I'm not gonna do anything with it. Just lose to the scooter? Yeah. That made no sense at all, but hey, you've got it, play it, right? Alright, so Necrotal certainly makes the cut. Very little I would actually want changed here. So what doesn't make the cut, I guess, is the question. Well, I like the Greaves in here. It's interesting. I guess Makeshift Mannequins kind of... No, it's still good. But maybe Greaves is a little bit... No, I'm not cutting it. All right, so what doesn't make the cut? I suppose there's this Flying Death Touch lifelink thing. Deck is very good. I'm totally at a... It's like a head scratcher here. I'm in a total quandary trying to decide which awesome card doesn't make it in this particular matchup. Specifically, I guess the Nighthawk can go. We'll find out if I regret that. I'm not sure. You gotta watch out for... Okay, well, that's slower than anything, but... I can probably do better. This hand's amazing. Well, this hand's reasonable if I find mana. I'm going second, so I guess... I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. I've got a lot of tries to hit that land drop, so... Come on. Okay. Sucks because the bottom card's not a land, but the top card could be the one that I would entomb, so I'm going to do it anyway, and I have no idea if it helps or hurts me, but I certainly don't want to draw a big thing. Alright, so... probably best choice Shieldred, right? Could be Ulamog. But I think Shieldred might be a little bit better. So, yeah, we'll just dump that. Give me a land, please. Alright, I'll take an imitation land. That has some potential. We get Ophiomancer down, and then maybe we've got something going here. Ophiomancer looking very good right now. Mox Diamond looking very poor right now. So let's crew this guy. Okay. Come on, path, plow, all right. Whatever it is, it's not going to be that. And then go ahead and play this guy. All right. So I may have wanted to pitch to Mox Diamond with the swamp only because Armageddon's a thing, but 5 lands. Okay, kind of annoying. So I draw Boots. I get to go Boots, Spectre, Smash, which was not awful at all. There's also that, which I'm good with. Starting to wish that I had kept some of those big cards. Crazy. From 1 land to 6 in just a couple of turns. So if I draw another mana and my opponent doesn't, let's say they play something that I'm not super worried about, then I can, like, that I can do with Necrotal, I might be able to go Necrotal Spectre. Spectratal. Trade in, no? How long am I going to wait on the Spectre, right? Not much longer. I think it needs to come down. I've got to get pressure on my opponents. If my opponent wants to discard a card, like, I'll block and they want to throw away a card, then that's probably okay. Take a lot of life to do that, though. Maybe not. I am the control player here. What are they O-ring anyway? I didn't even remember. I went Carnage. Ophiomancer, so... Yeah, because they plowed the Copter, so they path the Ophiomancer. Oh, okay, so there's nothing. So we can kill the... Nah, I think... If they want Carnage, I don't think I'm comfortable with that just yet. Let the Spectre do some work here. I'm going to go in for some damage in the air next turn and see what happens. Ideally, like, they play something that I can Necrotal. Well, not ideally, but one good play for me would be they play something I can Necrotal and then we do things that way. I would love... Okay, I was going to say I'd love an Armageddon, actually. Okay. So I kept a Soul Ring over a Portal, basically, by not blowing up the board, and I took a Wrath of God out of their hand. Agent. 6. And 2 Mox. Well, it's got some stuff going on over there. Now's a time where if I draw a land, I guess it's not the worst because of the Mox Pearl, but really not what I'm looking to do. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and play the Mox, though, because I am concerned about Armageddon. So again, they're letting me either... They can draw 2 cards per turn or we can clear the board here. But I don't know. I feel like there's some trap waiting for me. I clear the board and then they go Sun Titan or something. So it's going to flip right away. I'm going to have to start swinging at that. I cannot Necrotal this thing because it's an artifact creature. Game is slipping away if I don't find myself some payout card. If I don't get a reanimation effect, basically, or bargain or something. Bargain, Living Death, Mannequin, Braskas would be okay. There's a handful of cards that would be good here. Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. All right, so I want I'm going to take out the 4/4. I should have put Greaves on the Necrotal. Huge mistake there. On the other hand, by not attacking with the Necrotal 2, the Nissa could live, and this may incentivize my opponent to double block. And obviously, with the Batterskull, I do not care whatsoever if they kill the Germ. Yeah, I'm happy to trade 2 for 1 with this. That's great. Okay, so now I'll put the Greaves on the Necrotal, and then I'm going to go ahead and go get Bargain. I think. Because the other option is Will. No, I'm just getting Bargain. Opponent really has to kind of Armageddon here if they're going to, right? And I really hope they don't. This is definitely a dicey game. Okay. Overgrown Tomb. So presumably they're going to make, yeah, Dorks. Okay. Oh, and they had the Armageddon as the last card. You're kidding me. It's so frustrating. All right, well. All right, swinging at Nissa. God dang it. I could have had the Nissa dead. So maybe that was the mistake here. That's going to cost me. Fetching the Bargain. I knew it was a little bit greedy, but I mean, I was hoping I could go like maybe one more turn without it killing me there. I'm going to go ahead and pick up Batterskull and then lose to Elspeth, basically. Indra. Yeah, that's frustrating. Lotus. Vraska's is very, very good. If I draw a land. Oops. Oh, now they're voting homage. 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 Whatever it is. So if I can pull land so that I can smoke the Elspeth, then I have a chance to be in the game. After that, I'm not sure what I need. But, Living Death would certainly do well. Very well. So I can win this game. I think I've got to get the land here. It's like really kind of critical. Thank you. Okay. And then I'm done attacking because they just chump block it forever, and I can potentially block the Soulfire. If they only send that, then I don't care. And if they send just a group, I'm better on defense anyway. So next thing is I need one more land, and then I need to be able to Living Death. So Ritual or Lotus also good for me. Not great. But I can probably make my way to Living Death from there. 12-12's not great for me either. Okay, yeah, leave those back. Would have liked to have seen him come in, but okay. This is a game that's slipping away quickly. What do we have here? Okay. Oh, tithe? Yep. All right. At least it's gone. Should always yield to that, probably. All right, so basically if my next draw is Living Death, then I'm in great shape. Otherwise, I'm toast. And great shape, acceptable shape, I suppose. 1, 2, 3, yeah. I really was hoping they'd cool it on some of the damage that they're sending here. Just play it overly cautious, but I like the Necrothal dying, of course. As I said, if next card's Living Death, then I've got it. So had I tutored for Living Death, I suppose I would have won here. Is it a win? It is not a win. Okay. Move to game 3. Very silly there. Bad tutor target, I guess. Don't want the Nighthawk. They don't have... I'm going to have to leave the Nighthawk in. I need ways to go over the top and take out Planeswalkers. I suppose Ulamog's like not necessary against the Armageddon deck. And I'll just leave these as my top end and call it good. Okay. Would love it if I weren't mulliganing so much. I don't know, but I think the Living Death here. I'm going to have to tuck it, but I'm going to do it regretfully because obviously against Armageddon deck, it's pretty good. But what I'd like to find is, you know, Unu's Prowler here or some other way that I can discard. And I have a couple of them, obviously. Okay, more boots. Come on, deck. Just get this down. Usually you don't want to do that because you want to protect it, but really haven't seen any disenchants from my opponent. I do need to draw something. This is getting really bad because now they can Armageddon for profit. I've got them under no pressure at all. I actually think I'm going to pass here. It's too risky to walk into Armageddon. That's painful. This draw is painful. Sure. I mean, I guess I could have taken it out in step and then... Yeah, I'm really nervous about playing lands. I mean, maybe I'm overly cautious, but... What to do? I feel like I want to get Unu's Prowler and then immediately bash them with Shieldred and attempt to win the game that way. So I'm not going to play the land. Because if I get the Prowler here and they blow it up, then I'm only one turn away from... I'm only one land drop away from winning. Possibly winning anyway. Leave my nightmare alone. Leave my Greaves alone. Just leave me alone. Leave my lands alone. Okay, so this is exactly what... That's what I've been playing around, right? So here we go. Alright, play the land. So I just need a land and, of course, no mana tithe. This is a ridiculous draw on my opponent's side, unfortunately. Alright, so land to win, right? Possibly. Prowler. Pitch. Shieldred. Recurring Nightmare. That. Off the Prowler. Put the boots on it. Oh, that's exciting. Smash. Kill. That is an exciting board state. Did we do it? Are we there? You may not, Swords to Plowshares, Shieldred. I am sorry. Not sorry at all. Just kill your Grandfire. Thank you. Votes Carnage, yeah. I guess so. Honestly, I actually should have taken that because one land and then a creature and I could just go back to what I was already doing anyway. But they may not be able to beat this. So let's not... Well, they've got Wrath of God in their deck, so I should be pretty cautious. That's an interesting choice there. Alright, so I'm not going to move the boots. This is the temptation. They're setting me up so that I move the boots and then they plow the Shieldred and win, right? So that's just not going to happen. I'm going to go in for 6. Get the Nightmare on the board. Pass. I cannot... Okay, they're just going to tithe the Nightmare. Okay, that's the other play. That's totally fine. Shieldred is the living Nightmare, right? So... And then the backup plan is Death. The worry here is Wrath of God. I'm finding Wrath of God. I just really think that I probably... There's something to be said for going Carnage and wiping their draw 2 per turn. Kind of all in on this Shieldred right now. Wrath of God's going to be so bad for me. The Wrath of Armageddon deck is kind of hard to deal with. Do not tap one more. Okay, thank you. Okay, so land would be great here because I can get rid of the Persist. Or, you know, a fatty, of course. That's beautiful. Okay, they cannot kill yet. Interesting choice there from my opponent. Right, well, if they don't Wrath, then Entomb is going to do some work here. Living in terror of a Wrath of God. That's probably describes some people's lives in history. Okay, who's coming to the party? I think it's going to be think it's going to be Big Boy. Yeah, Big Boy Titan. It's unfortunate some ways because it does kill one of my swamps, which... But I have Ritual. I have like 3 different sources of fast mana to ramp up to the Living Death range. Alright, cool. So bang bang, equip him, smash. Yeah. Cool. That was hard fought. Wow. Heck of a start. Alright. So, don't want to make any changes. What did I learn? What did I learn? I learned that Necrotal is good. I already knew that, but maybe... I also need... I'm really tempted to run a little bit of green. Just... Don't do it. Don't do it, Nate. But I'm so tempted. There's so many good green cards to go with that Recurring Nightmare. Oh boy. I also like the idea of the Tasigur running with... But I mean, that's just a strange... That match is strange because my opponent, having both Armageddon and Wrath of God, was... It was damned if I do, damned if I don't kind of a thing. I think the Necrotal makes a lot of sense. Maybe I don't want to run the Ulamog. Do I really need that many payout cards? The card's just like game over, though. Sundering Titan could end up being... You know, there's going to be opponents where it's not that great against. So is it like either or? Is that what I should be thinking? I don't know. I don't know about that. And is there anything else that I would cut for it? And cutting Titan then just makes Workshop even worse, so I'd probably start thinking about doing that at that point. I never got screwed by Workshop. I only got helped by it. That was good. I suppose I'll leave it in as long as it continues to play nicely with me. No guarantees on that, though. I suppose a safe bet is you cut Titan and you cut Shop and you make it a swamp and play it really safe. I guess I'm still going to leave this out. I'm going to stay the way that I am. I don't know for sure that the Hawk is going to be good against this next opponent. But what I do know is that an Ulamog ends games very quickly. Pretty much you turn sideways and the game's probably over. So, and it's hard to get off the board. So I'm going to go ahead and just leave it be. I think I swapped the Nighthawk for the Necrotal is what I just did. Which I think makes more sense in this deck. So we'll leave it like that. Wow. Okay. How much mana can I produce? This is kind of gross. I'm wondering if I can get Simulacrum Spectre. 7 mana, so I have, let's see, 3, 4. I only have 5. That's not that great, right? Ha ha ha. But no, for reals. I think I want to go Swamp. I want to Lotus out the Spectre for sure against blue. So it gets a Soul Ring. So the other option here, of course, is to slam the Simulacrum and then go turn 2 Spectre. But man, turn 1 Spectre is just so juicy. I'm going to go for it and then see what they've got. Because, I mean, if I absolutely have to, I've got Will for the Lotus. I mean, if I have to. Sure would have liked a pair of boots right there as my last card. Land one more like tap, because I had 1 mana floating, so I could have tapped the swamp. If this were boots and then just started ripping hand immediately with a protected spook. Alrighty, start feeding me some cards. So obviously a land next turn, very, very good. This just keeps me on curve. Better Blossom would be good. A few other cards. Una's Prowler would be fine, because I could just play the Prowler and then follow it up with Recurring Nightmare, pitch to Solemn, swap them out. and then start that recursion loop with the Solemn and the Nightmare. I actually guess that could have been a reason to go Solemn first, but I really want to, if my opponent doesn't kill this, I want to get into their hand. So this is funny. They've got to take the will, right? So if they take the recurring Nightmare, I just will Lotus Nightmare later. Yeah, so they have to take the will. But when you duress somebody and you leave recurring Nightmare in their hand, you feel pretty bad about that. Now, it looks like, given my opponent's color configuration that they're showing, recurring Nightmare will be safer on the board than it will be in my hand. So I'm going to try to get that on board. Bang, bang. Oh, yeah. Love hitting somebody with the Spectre. So get that down, pass. Now what I want him to do is hymn me and take that Titan out of my hand. This is a swamp, so I can actually target the Shelldock with the Sundering Titan. Kill the Shelldock in the island, for example. Hiding his cards from the Spectre, looking for removal, and if not, then protecting his plays. Hers, his, whatever the case may be. I'm going to Imperial Seal for... I'm actually thinking about... So with Urborg out, my Mishra's Workshop looks very appealing right now, because I can use it for one of these first and then follow up with... Okay. Yeah, that sucks. So I'm pretty sure that's where I want to be. When it's unfortunately just had a really good start here. So 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm one short from hitting him with Titan, and that is what I want to do. So all right. Nice thing with the Solemn out is if I play Spectre, I can just swap them. I'm not going to block, of course. Hopefully they don't like deck fade in my Solemn or something. So I need... Yeah, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 1 mana. If I don't just die this turn and I draw a land, maybe I should block for that reason. Okay, land is very good there. Can play the Mox, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then if they counter it, I might just cheat it back into play. So it's a no-win situation for my opponent here. So I take out Shelldock, Isle, Mountain, Island. Boom, boom, boom. As Islands, Mountain, Swamp over there. Opponent loses. Okay, cool. Good, good, good. So would Vampire Nighthawk be useful in this match? Not at all. I'm not sure how useful Ulamog's going to be either. Unfortunately, this looks like it's going to go pretty quick. I suppose Nighthawk would be good in one sense. It would be good for if they're trying to tendrils me out. I also really, really don't want to get briberied for that. Of course, Shieldred is a nightmare for me to deal with as well. When it had Solemn was the only creature showing. I'm not sure how good Necrotal is going to be, but I suppose I'll keep it. It's fine. If I can get an early Ulamog, I might be able to just crush my opponent. Leovold would be an interesting card to sideboard in, but as a card that I'm just like the others, if I treat it like a card that I'm going to try to I'd like to draw a Lotus, a card that I'm going to try and cheat into play. Leovold has some value. It'd be hilarious if I had like Leovold in a graveyard, Mannequin in hand. Opponent does a Time Twister effect. Lotus, please? No. Okay. Well, I don't like that. Could very well be a mana drain. Could just go after my opponent's hand, so let's do that. Okay, I would have taken a counter anyway, but that if I could have done it with the brutality, I would get the counter plus information. So. How about drawing a Black Lotus? That would be cool. I'd like to draw a Soul Ring here. A Black Lotus would be good. A Swamp would be good. Something to recur would be good with the Smuggler's Copter. Like a fatty. So I play the Copter and then next turn the Recurring Nightmare type of a deal. Land is good. 3, 4, 5. We're very close to doing it. So I think I'm safer getting the Recurring Nightmare on the board than the Copter, perhaps. But I'm gonna play the Copter anyway. It's takes care of the summoning sick problem. So one more mana source would will get me to bargain. Of course, my opponent's not tapping out again. So do they want to burn a counter on Inner's Prowler? Oops. No, so we'll go ahead and crew this guy up. Let's find a Lotus or a fatty. Okay. Prowler is so dangerous in a Recurring Nightmare deck. Alright. No secrets here now. So I guess if you're them, what do? Do you take Dark Ritual? Do you take Recurring Nightmare? Do you take Will? I guess you take Will, right? Because you're worried about getting stormed out. Pretty scary. It means I also think though that indicates my opponent does indeed have a counterspell, because otherwise Ritual Bargain just is doom, right? You can't take that risk. So question is, I'm going to try for the Copter. I'm still trying to draw out that counter magic that I think that they have. All right, that went too quickly. I don't think they have it anymore. So I can go for Entomb here, then Recurring Nightmare to try to get rolling. They're 1 mana away from a time spiral, which is also a problem or possible problem. So we'll see. Well, there's 6. If they spiral, I mean, I Dark Ritual in response, and that's all I can do. Does almost nothing unless they Sima Fatty and I happen to spiral into a Contempt with another ritual that I'm willing to burn. Pretty unlikely, or maybe an Entomb or something, and then I can, I don't know, pay for a Spell Pierce. Okay. Okay. Value Will? Is that all this is? I'm hoping this is not lethal. They're thinning their deck for Sheldock, which is scary. You get Inquisitioned here. I've got to be careful because I can walk into a mana leak as well. Because I allowed that will to resolve, so I don't want that to happen. But if they go for Blink of an Eye, then it's not going to happen. So it's tough for them because I've got the combo in hand. And so if they break up the combo, then I've got the other combo in hand. Although I'm a mana short of that. Yet again, Urborg making the chance of me drawing a Workshop not more palatable, not so bad. Read one week, boys. So, does his opponent... I don't know. So they take the Nightmare. Okay, it makes sense. And if they do Blink of an Eye, I'm going to Entomb. If they don't, I'm not. That's pretty much where we're at. Storm count is very high. They could also just throw out a Tendrils here just to make Bargain bad. 6. Uh-oh. So Spiral. Okay, well, like I said, I'm going to Ritual in response. Okay, that didn't do a heck of a lot for me. Library has 20 cards in it? That's weird. Alright, skip through their main. So they can Sheldock. 7 cards in hand. 7. Oh, because they've got all these cards that were exiled. Ah, that's rough. So they had a lot of card advantage, and they've kind of undone some of it with their Spiral. They had a lot of card advantage, like theoretically anyway, off of that will. They had a ton of cards coming, but I guess the threat that I represented on my side was too much for them. I would not mind some Boots here. I would not mind removal for whatever's under the Sheldock Isle, assuming it's not a card drawing. I like the fact that I have both Brutality and Spectre. And I guess we'll just see what happens. And I've got fast mana, so I mean, I would not mind Bargain here. At least yet. Oh, is it the Storm card that's going to kill me? No. Okay. All right. So they're looking for their win. Their win is 4 mana if it's Storm, if it's Tendrils. I'm a dead man. But if they stall out here, I think they're in a lot of trouble because they've blown both a Will and a Spiral, as well as the fact that I've got discard coming. Dadgum. This is a very resilient turn for them. They're digging so deep. Is it just a million goblins? I mean, that's bad. But I could draw Living Death and get back in the game. Ugh. Look, here, I'm just going to yield. Go ahead. Do your thing, man. Is this more goblins? I feel like if they had to kill, they would just play the Tendrils, right? Like, no. Okay, they're just enjoying the feel of it. Okay. Or they like the feeling of watching their clock tick down. All right, well, it is what it is. Could bring in Tide Hollow Scholar. Leovold's still looking really good for me. If I could find a way to get him into play, I can swap out a Swamp. And that gives me the chance to cast it off Mox Diamond or a Lotus, like with a couple of these, and then I guess Ulamog can go, and I'll put in Leovold instead. And that's about it. Okay, well, there's something here. But just having that disruption was pretty bad for me. So turn 3 Batterskull, I can start getting out of... I can basically try to get out of Tendrils range is the idea. Oh, that was nice. Alright, so if they have Blink of an Eye, it's a little bit of a bummer. But then I can just land Batterskull, so not the worst. Okay, cool. It's going to be harder for them to deal with then. Alright, so I've got to keep 3 mana ready to go in case they have removal for Batterskull. I can just pick that guy up, throw it back down, and smash him in the face. So a way to discard here gets me Leo. They're on quite a clock, though. Come on, discard outlet. Daggum. Tendrils is looking a lot weaker. What I did like for 12 last turn, I think. 12 times 2, 14, 16. I mean, what do you have to Tendrils for here? The first one does 2, and then you need a storm count of 15 to win. And if I hit here, then it pushes it up to 17 to win. And so if he tries to draw a card here, I'm going to pay to pick it up so that he doesn't get the card. Yeah, so we're going to make sure that my opponent does not get the card. So fizzle that. Urborg would have been great for this deck just because of the workshop. Still no Entomb or discard outlet for Leo is unfortunate. I think I'd have this game locked down if it were available. Why don't you take Leovold there? Do it. Take Leovold. Do it. Lose game immediately. That's so, like, if I didn't have that stupid will in my hand, I would have forced him to take the Leovold, right? Because it doesn't say you may choose. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if my opponent has mana leak, playing Titan is wrong, so I'm not going to. Hopefully he names Artifact here and screws up. Okay. I'm burning a lot of cards to try to get somewhere, which is great. So the mannequin, if Titan gets countered, the mannequin wins, but when I have a game-winning play that can't be mana leaked, I'm going to go for it, right? And then next card, Spectre would have been good too. All right, cool. Anyway, I made the adjustment already, right? I put the Necrotal in. Yeah, okay, good. Just this deck really is very, very good. It just needs like one more discard outlet, but still, it's a pretty good deck. Like another discard outlet would be nice. A Hymn to Torok would have been nice. Mind Twist would have been phenomenal. Maybe a little more something to do with artifacts, like a sort of Feast and Famine or Fire and Ice would have been really nice, just to make the workshop a little more valuable, or even a Worn Power Stone or something like that. But so turn 1 Una's Prowler, and then I've got mostly crap until I can Living Death. Can probably do better. So if I take this, well, if I'm gonna go first, right? So I'm gonna seal. I go first turn seal, second turn Sunring Titan. Is that even a good play? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I guess it doesn't matter, right? So hopefully this is enough to get me there. Anyway, I'm going to get Soul Ring regardless, so. Yeah, this might not be enough to get me there. I need to think this through. So against this opponent, knowing nothing else, the Living Death should be a win. And blowing up my own Swamp right here feels really, really bad. God, this deck wants Urborg just to be able to blow my opponent's lands up with Sunring Titan. So, yeah, I'm going to hold off for a minute. I'm letting my opponent do some gross stuff over there with Leovold, right? Or Leovold with Raphaelos, but okay, yeah, sure. All right, I mean, that's, I guess, annoying, but it's definitely Living Death time. Ah, yuck. So now I don't have enough of an investment on my opponent's part to death. Come on, throw down some more just junk creatures. Don't kill my soul ring. There's a lot of stuff that can go wrong here. Ugh. The plow or the harmonize? Are they greedy or... Yeah, harmonize is smart. So I can pick up Batterskull here, kill the board. I still think it's a little bit early. Obviously, my opponent's going to reload, but they may choose to dump first and then, or reload and then, like, splooge out a bunch of creatures across the board, and then that gives me a really good, like, it undoes a lot of the harmonize. Obviously, the fear is that they kill Soul Ring or my mana sources, but I don't see a path to victory living in fear of those things and playing as though those things are going to happen. Yep. My opponent's deck is unfortunately well constructed. So I could pick this up. Clear the board. It's not great. It hasn't gotten any better. Go after Garrick. Take those guys out. Unfortunately, it gives them a creature in the graveyard now, so pretty nasty. I don't know if that was right. I mean, the game's just slipping away off the double time walk. Opponent is not cooperating in the ways that I want them to. This is a little bit better. They're going to draw even more cards off Garrick. It just gets worse and worse. Okay, well, they didn't draw. Okay, all right. So this is good. This is more like what I was hoping to see earlier. All right, Lotus is very good because it gives me a follow-up. Dang, killing that Eternal Witness was some foolish stuff on my part. Very foolish. I feel so bad about having killed that witness. What are they getting? Where's the logs? Avenger of Zendikar. Okay, yeah, that's a problem. Avenger's not... I don't know. We'll see how bad it is. God, I can't believe I killed that witness. I'm just kicking myself so bad because this game was possibly winnable, and now it's probably not. Man, another reason I should have drafted Urborg if I could have. Yeah, orb on yourself there. That's interesting. I can live with that. That is interesting. You just orbed yourself. That's crazy. All right, I love that play. That helps me. Maybe I can get in this game. So Shieldred is mediocre at first. It's big enough to stop the Avenger from swinging, and I can start eating their 3, 4. Let's see, 2, 3. Wait, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I'm one short anyway, so it's not Shieldred time. I can get the Batterskull down, and then I guess I've got the Arbor Elf to make the Shieldred or the Winter Orb a little less painful for them, and the Winter Orb or the Power Stone and stuff. Anyway, I get the Batterskull down. Ophiomancer is acceptable. And I can actually send in the Death Touch Dorks, although that would be foolish. I could play Big Titan, but then I lose my Swamp, which down the road will cost me. So Skull or other? I think I will play the Skull. Alright, so I want to get Shieldred down quickly. I want to get Ophiomancer down. Someday I'll draw land, I'm sure. Alright, that orb is not really hurting them enough. Prime time sucks. I'm also looking at their deck. It's possible I can run them out of cards. Maybe not, though. I forgot about what's going to happen with these guys. Okay, that's probably fine. I'm going to just die here. Okay, that's fine. So the Nighthawk. Well, look, I'm going to take out Ulamog yet again. Put in the Nighthawk. I guess this is a permanent change that needs to happen. Okay. Again, I need to be able to get over the top of creatures so I can get at Planeswalkers. Alright, some of my best things here. Spectre away their hand, and then Death the board away is the plan, right? It's a little slow, but if I draw a Mox something, then maybe I can. Mox Ritual would be good. I suppose Lotus. I guess Sunring Titan also is a oof. Got one too. I guess Sunring Titan's also a card I could have pulled. Well, they're just feeding living death, I suppose. If I don't get plowed here. Even though he'll die, I do want the Spectre on the board because I don't want my opponent to recover from living death if I'm able to make the play, and I don't want him to be able to also sit on a bunch of fat and build up to build up to something too scary. Yeah, I'm getting beat on. I'll get 2 living deaths, maybe. And I do kind of wish I had some of those 2-drop removal spells, because this opponent's played Raphaelis so often. Had I had a 2-drop removal spell that I could have swapped in for like Sundering Titan, who's kind of mediocre in this. He's going to kill 2 of their forests, so 2 of my swamps, typically. Would have been pretty sweet. Alright, so they are going to let me kill the Garruk, which is cool. I don't want to fill their graveyard up for living deaths, so there is that. Alright, so 1 land away. I'm a little nervous about hitting them with the Spectre. Shoot, I hadn't considered that. Man, living death is just not. Here goes plow. This is not damnation, that's for sure. Okay, well, it's going to have to happen. So it's really just, do I go hand or not? How long can I... The beauty of it, though, is that the threat of the Spectre is enough to get my opponent to dump. Okay, well, I mean, I'm gonna try to hit him with the Spectre. Play another mana creature. Oh, that's interesting. Wait, is that both of my fat in my hand? It is. That's so bad. That's so bad. I've got to do it, man. This is just, this game is, the luck of the way that this is played out is just so terrible. Okay, well, they're gonna get Garrick down, and then I'm not sure where to go from there. If they play Garrick and draw 5, like, that's pretty horrible. And there's not much I can entomb. If they were to get a couple lands out, I just die. I've got to blow it. That's all right. That is so bad. I guess I could have left Ulamog in and took out Sundering Titan. That was the swap that needed to happen. Foolish, foolish, foolish. So that's 6 mana. 7 for Shieldred later. So I could will out Spectre. I actually like that a lot. Because I've got to apply pressure here. Will out Spectre and then get Shieldred running. I mean, even though Shieldred, like theoretically would get me going here. If I draw a land, I can Shieldred and Tomb, and then, oh gosh. Okay, so they're out of cards. So that's something. I need to get Garrick off of where it's at. Okay, yeah, so the land there is actually really nice. This draws 3 cards, or I can shrink it down, which I think is more important. I need the card drawing to go away. That Soaring Rip was amazing. All right. So, got a game here. Wow. We were both top decking like champions. Unfortunately, man, don't have my fatty. I am going to at least be able to... I will Sundering Titan very soon. They just drew 6. It's so gross. At least I killed the Garrick with the Spectre, but yuck. The other Garrick needs to die. This is just so bad. It's going to hold off. Titan holds off Shieldred. Oh boy. Sure. Okay. Sucks, but Honestly, like, that just doesn't make... I still feel like my opponent is super misplaying their Winter Orb. So, anyway, I'm just going to leave it alone, though. I think Necrotol could actually be the play here. I was thinking Ophiomancer. But if I get the Necrotol, I can smoke the Titan. Yeah, that's really important, actually. Okay. So if I were to send this guy at Garrick and it dies, then I feel pretty bad. So I don't think I'll do that. I can't really pinch my opponent's mana too effectively right here. I can hit Garrick once. Or I can just take their options away. Let's go hand. Here goes. It's good. This will kill some more mana or a beast who can block. Okay, yeah, so they've got to kill more mana there. Then I can start attacking with Necrotol as well, because if it dies, well, that's good. There's so much mana. I can see the Winter Orb being good here. I don't see it being great for them. Thing is, they just can't afford to block Necrotol. That's their big problem right here, I think. So I'm glad I selected the Necrotol. Oh wow, that's lovely. Okay, so if I send in Necrotol Shieldred, then I swap the Necrotol out for... So I definitely want to send in Shieldred, right? Because then I Recurring Nightmare swap the Necrotol out into Shieldred, and I think I've got him at that point. Alright, so this is going to go Garrick. Face, and that's it. Because I don't want to risk... I don't want Necrotol to get exchanged here. Blocked by the Ooze and Pump, right? Would be pretty bad. Okay. 2 beasts are in Ooze. I'll just... 2 beasts is fine. And then Shieldred takes down the Ooze. I could have gone after the Ooze in order to get my opponent to tap mana, actually. That could have been very reasonable. Card from hand, please. Right. Oh, it's an Ooze, you idiot. Not thinking at all. Alright, Solemn's not too grand here. Wow, I bet you guys were screaming at the screen if I wasn't seeing this. Wow. I wonder if I just gave the game up. I have no idea, but I made it infinitely harder than it has to be. I do like my opponent tapping a bunch of mana there, though. If they're ever tapped out, the Recurring Nightmare comes back on board. But I mean, I don't see that they can. But they could swing in here. I mean, I could swing back. Are they gonna make that play? Kill off their Garrick. I mean, Ooze gets big, but. Risk killing off their Garrick. Wow, that was the worst play I think I've made in Magic in a very, very long time. I wonder if that's gonna kill me. But Vraska's Contempt now, like I have to think of solutions for a problem that I didn't even have. That's amazing. I cannot even fathom how bad that was. All I had to do is just put all the damage on the use, right? Okay, maybe we're all right. God, that was terrible. I'm going hand, Garrick. Jeez, man, that was the stupidest play ever. Oh, I'm still seeing from the stupidity of it. So here I am talking smack about my opponent, and wow. Spectre, the ultimate choice taker. Okay. Garrick, it is. Maybe I can get Garrick permanently gone and try to work against my opponent's orb a little bit. Okay, cool. So the Garrick is dead. I can start going face again. I'll take care of Garrick. Let's go face here. So I'm 2 mana short from Titan, which obviously has all upside, no downside, with a bunch of tapped swamps that I can feed him and untapped forests that I can eat. Yeah, very hard to Spectre and Prowler. It's kind of hard to hold cards to feed it. Wow, that Ophiomancer saved my bacon right there. I guess it could have been my lifelink flyer as well. Tempting. Just continue to press with my Air Force. $10, $11, $12, $13, $14, $15, $16. Killing this will not keep him off of like a hardcast Emrakul or something, so I won't. Here, just do your thing, man. How many more creatures are there? Runtime, elves. If we get 2 more that they can. He's getting scary. Bigger than a Sundering Titan. Not bigger than his butt yet, but the next one, the Finhorn, will do it. Alright, so at least 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So they probably don't have Emrakul Day. The 15 mana drop in their deck, or that would have been a misplay right there. Alright, so they're holding, I guess, for Una. Spectre's going to take it anyway, so they might as well, right? Yep. I might just kill the speaker here, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12. It sets me back. I could also slam Skull and then try to equip it onto Hypnotic Spectre and finish this game as fast as possible. I'm actually very drawn to that plan. Next turn also I can play Bargain is another. Alright, cool. Jeez, man. That deck is pretty good. Pretty good. Okay. Not liking Sundering Titan. Liking Ulamog quite a bit. So that change needs to happen. And then that was super bad luck with the Entomb. Although Entombing Necrotal was fine. I just screwed up. Big time. Let my opponent into a game they had no business being in. Still tempted to run Bazaar a little bit. Bazaar. Draw 2, discard 3. Just Bazaring into Living Death is very appealing. But you can also pull the shop for a swamp. I don't think I will. I think it's going to have to work. Yeah, I got Soul Ring. I'm going second, which 2 shots at drawing a swamp per turn 2 Spectre swamp. Boom. That's beautiful. My opponent doesn't go turn 2 Rofellos, please. Not every game, please. Well, I guess they're probably feeling the same way about the Spectre. Please leave my Soul Ring alone. That's really where I'm at. So get the Bitter Blossom and Imperial Seal to set up for Living Death, I guess. Or that. Just gotta hope not to hit anything too great here. Great, that's excellent. I'm willing to pressure my opponent, slow their pressure down, and try to win without having to cast Living Death, and then keep the death in my back pocket. And I can lose a Nighthawk here. I've got Bitter Blossom and Batterskull as follow-ups to Living Death. They work just fine. So I also could slam Batterskull onto the table, and then what I can do is I can equip it onto a Bitter Blossom token later. And maybe I should just... Honestly, the threat here is just Rofellos. It's not really anything else. Yep. So I could go face, Ophiomancer.
Can I go kill a spider? I can. You do it.
Let's do that.
The square button? No.
Wow, that was a big boom.
This thing's like a moat against green sometimes, as it was in the last game. Okay. It's going to be tough for my opponent, honestly, to get me here. They can't really save up for, like, what I'm worried about is something like a natural order into all of his creatures getting trampled, and then I just die, right? So regrowth, regrowth, regrowth. Put a bunch of tap lands into play under your own Winter Orb. I am cool with that. So the last card in his hand's a forest. Cannot play the forest. I'm going to take that with the Spectre.
You big giant spider.
Sure, yeah, I'll just death touch your guy away. That's fine.
Mama, you hit it with white poop. He got sad.
All right, let's get over there.
Sad. He got sad. He did? Yeah. What type of spider? You told me I would kill him.
I don't want to be too greedy. Honestly, I think living death here just ends the game, right? I just win. And drawing it out further makes no sense. So really it's just what's the best way to do it. I'd prefer to do it off of Mox Diamond, but that's pretty greedy because then I'm holding out for that. I could go get just a swamp, and then I'm 2 turns away from doing it. Or I could get Lotus or Ritual. So if I were to get Lotus is a little bit worse than Ritual. No. Lotus would allow me to do it without tapping the land, which is actually valuable under Winter Orb. So I'm just going to go get Black Lotus. And then if my opponent wins on this turn, then they win. And if they don't, I think I win. So I've been very lucky with Spectre not putting a creature in the graveyard. So and then I will block with Ophiomancer and the Flyer in ways that won't kill any of their creatures and will kill the Ophiomancer to further strengthen the death. If they swing in, I should have probably sent the Snake, but there was always a chance that my opponent was willing to block, and I don't want any creatures in my opponent's graveyard. So Snake is unfortunately discouraging my opponent from attacking, but they may realize that the game's slipping away and they've got to go alpha striking me to win. So as long as I don't draw like natural order here to go get Craterhoof, I think I've got it. The life gain from this has been very nice also off of the Bitter Blossom. So. And then, well, if, like, presumably I get to, disconnected. What this little treasure thing is? Transmogrified treasure. I don't know what that is. I've always wondered what that was. Anyway, if my opponent doesn't attack here, it doesn't kill me, then I've got to decide as to whether or not, and if they leave a card in their hand, I have to decide whether or not I hit them with the Spectre and risk a creature coming down. Because if it's a giant creature, they won't be able to play it even off of a Rofellos. But if it's anything that I haven't seen it, like I haven't seen Eldrazi from my opponent. The biggest I've seen is their 6/6, their Titan. And if it's their Titan, then they can cast it off Rofellos. And so I would figure that they would not hold it to have the Spectre take it away. So, yeah. I love Hypnotic Spectre. It's such a fun card. Yeah, so this deck was almost perfect. This Hawk became Necrotal, and then one of these two comes out and becomes the Hawk again. So basically one of these two should be a Necrotal. So maybe the way this deck should have been constructed is that Ulamog should have been Necrotal, and then I sideboarded in for Simmering Titan, and the games where Titan's no good, or vice versa. Opponent has lost connection. Are they rage quitting? I hope not. I hope they just pop back in and we can finish them. I'll have to win, but a rage quit's like not that much fun. Well, I'm going to play Commander while I wait because I'm trying to make a video and I don't have editing software, so what you see is what you get here. So let's take a look at Brea and make sure everything makes sense, and I think it does. We'll jump into a game if my opponent doesn't come back soon. So I'm going to jump into a game and then just see what happens. 101, 25 minutes, one game, sure. Unfortunately, there's never Commander going on in tournament practice for any number of reasons. And frankly, them having these 4 rooms, they should have room for starting out, like total newbie room is fine where they can have GMs or whatever in there helping out new players. Beyond that, there should just be one room. It should just be the room that you play in. Just getting serious. I'd like to know who would ever use Getting Serious. I've never seen Getting Serious used for anything. Like, Getting Serious is the room you go to when you're like, I'm going to get serious, but I mean, I'm not right now, but like someday I'll be serious. It just makes no sense. All right, what am I facing here? Sliver Overlord. So, random Commander game in the midst of my draft. Thanks, this guy. Yeah, DCing or whatever. All right, so Polluted Delta is more flexible than Scalding Tarn. Either way, I'm getting a Tundra, so we'll use the Tarn and save the more flexible land. And the great thing with the fetch is I can play a fetch land off this Wayfarer. And the reason I've swapped to Wayfarer permanently instead of, and I've gone away from tax, is with the Tithe and Wayfarer I can play a Delta, for example. I can fetch it. My opponent can play a land to match me, and they only have one land, and then they play their second land, and I sack it and use this in response, just as I would with the Tithe. So, or I can do that later. Yeah, I guess I'll wait. Against a bunch of slivers, what do I want? Not exactly sure what I want, so I've got card drawing in hand, so I'll just take the... Looks like my opponent's ready for me to play now, which is lovely, but I should probably finish that game. All right, I'm going to try to wrap up both. All right, opponent did play whatever it was in their hand. I guess a land. Oh, Lotus, right? Yeah, that's what I was fetching. Okay, so. All right, so send in the flyers, send in Ophiomancer, hoping my opponent trades, send in the flyers, hoping that he trades with something that isn't too good. All right, Ewit. I mean, it's fine. Like, my opponent gets to witness, but... so if I kill the board here... I mean, how does my opponent win? I don't see how they win. I think they just scoop. So unfortunately for them, they can sack the Whisperwood. Well, oh, I see. They sack the Whisperwood. God dang, I suck. All right, well, whatever. Okay. That's interesting. So I didn't think these creatures were dying because they're being manifest. They're being exiled, but... All right. Well, Ophiomancer came back, and we'll just carry on. I cut my opponent's mana into a lot less threat. So, but now I don't have my air force. They've still got Whisperwood. All right, well, maybe I just lost. Doing this in the middle of a video, perhaps not the best. All right. Alright, this opponent's just playing garbage anyway. Alright, so I think this game's about over here. Trying to do too many things at once, I guess. That'll be my excuse. Sure. Send in the death touch. No. Alright. Basically, the plan here is I just put the Spectre back into play and kill him at the end of it. Like, attack for 3 and they die. Right, so. Okay. Fellows, blah, blah, blah. Alright, we're fine. Take the Spectre, and then they lose. Yep, okay, cool. Got it. Now I can finish up this other game, which is what I was trying to do. Hopefully this person is not too salty. I really wouldn't have liked, I didn't like costing them a bunch of time. But. Alright. Well, those aren't that great against Sword of Feast and Famine, I don't think. I'm going to try one with poison. Is it worth even trading here? Nah, not really. Alright, so sack this, respond with this, go get this, solve this guy, go get something that makes white, so hallowed or scrub. Right, scrub, sneak this down. True control deck fashion, everything happens at the end of your opponent's turn, right? So all the cool stuff happening. So what's the right way to do this? I can the underground equip probably the stone forge. Yeah. Get this mana down here and get in for some damage. And I really like Hypnotic Spectre effects, so here we are. Just pulling off the same gimmick. Now, why are they big? It's a sinew sliver pumping them up, so that's what needs to go. So I can shrink that one and move. Concede? No, what are you talking about? So I can move this sword over and let him slam into the sword and then Teferi dies, or I can trade a Snapcaster Wayfarer for the 2 creatures Teferi lives. So I'm trading Snapcaster for Teferi. So would I discard this to put this into play? Of course. So that's the game plan. I should have put the sword on the Wayfarer because then I would have the Stoneforge Mystic blocker, which had I been thinking it through. All right, well, unfortunate. So now I'm going to lose a Wayfarer and and not make a full exchange there, but I still protect Teferi, which is fine. And I can cut into my opponent's mana sources a little bit. So I guess the 1-2 wouldn't have mattered here, and here we are. Take out some mana. Great. That was a rip. White, red, blue, black. And I think this game's about over now. Grab my card. I should have drawn first, but you know, that was dumb because I could have played deck fade in here, but that's fine. All right, so we'll get in there. Float a mana when I connect. Yeah. So I float a mana and then untap all my lands. And then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. If I want to spend it, I can untap Grim Monolith, thopter away the Muscle Slivers, and call it good. Opponent obviously sees that, and yeah, it's over. Cool. Well, wrapped up the draft. Got to play a Brea game. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Managed to win with this sexy little draft here, and had a lot of fun. So hopefully you did too. And welcome to the new year. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.